What's going on, Nerd Nation? This is Sleevecard signing in once again. And today, guys, we are going to be ripping open a Pokemon TCG Knockout Collection pack. But before I turn to that, I do want to give a quick apology for my hiatus on videos. It's been almost 4 months since I've uploaded anything. So without getting into too much detail, thank you guys for sticking around with me. It's been kind of a rough couple months. I got sick for about a month, got better, moved, then right around moving got sick again. Nothing serious, just like a lot of throat congestion. But I didn't want to record videos where I sounded like those toads from Rocko's Modern Life. But as you guys can see, I have moved, so the backdrop does look a little bit different, because before I used to have like the window right there and everything, and it was in like an office. So now I have moved. I'll get it figured out and get it situated in a couple videos or so, to make it look a little cleaner when I'm recording. But I do have like a blanket hanging over here because I've got a window behind me, so there's a lot of lights, and without it, I look like I'm one of those people doing like the interviews when you're in witness protection. There we go, witness protection. You know, like the silhouette and the voice changer. But with that being said, I'm back. So thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I do have a lot of videos planned, like this week, next week, that kind of stuff, to hopefully get us back on track. But today, guys, we will be opening up the Knockout Collection. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. This was my first time seeing it at the store, but I was doing some research online. Apparently there are 4 Knockout Collection boxes. The one I ended up grabbing was like the Kalos starters. So it's Greninja, Chestnut, and Delphox. But apparently there's one that's the Kanto starters, and then there's one that features Dragonite. I don't know what else is in it. And then there's one that has the other one I saw that has Hydreigon, I think it's Hydreigon, Druddigon, and I don't know what the third one is. It's like Garchomp or it's Hexorus or something like that. But I do remember it was Druddigon and Hydreigon. But I ended up grabbing this one because this card right here, I actually really like this Greninja card. It's the one from like the basic blue starter deck on TCGO. So if you go online and you're doing like the basic blue XY starter deck, this is like the main card in it. But just to kind of tell you what's in here, so it's going to come with 2 booster packs. I don't know what 2 they are, so I didn't put Jirachi up. So no Jirachi wishlist this time because I have no clue what we're gonna draw. 1 coin, and then 3 chosen foil cards. So I do know the chosen foil cards are going to be these 3, just because I was looking online to kind of learn a little bit more about it. But the booster packs are just going to be a mix of other XY ones. So it could be anything from like Roaring Skies, Furious Fists, Primal Clash, like I have no idea. Now, and another thing I kind of noticed is all the packs I saw have like this weird bulge right here. So it looks like I kind of tore into it, but I didn't. So I don't know if that's like there's something in there that's really pushing it out. But yeah, I noticed like the whole shelf, every single one had this going on. But without further ado, let me rip into this instead of rambling about box quality for something I'm going to throw away. So the one thing I can say, these open up a lot nicer than the Mythical collections did, because those things were like prying it open with a crowbar. Okay, so slide that open, toss the box. So I can tell you from the back, like there's obviously Greninja, there's the 2 packs, there's the coin in the back. I don't know, like, I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say there's Primal Clash, and I don't know what the other one is. I feel like this back one's Primal Clash. This one here, if I'm going to guess, I'll just say Furious Fist just to throw something out there, but I don't think that's what it is. take the top off. So let's look at the promo cards first. So weirdly enough, Greninja is not in the foil, but the other two are. I guess because this is going to be like your top loader. So we have the XY Basic Blue Starter Greninja. This one I really like. If you guys have ever watched me play TCGO online, you'll see that I use this deck a lot. But it comes with Water Shuriken, which lets you, I think it's 30 damage, but it lets you discard 1 water energy, and you deal 30 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon. And then for 1, this is the other cool one. So for 1, you can, 1 water has Mist Slash, which does 50 damage, and it ignores, like, type resistances. So it kind of stinks if you're facing a fire deck, like the fact that you're using this thing and you're missing out on like 2 times effectiveness. But let me stop messing with this so it's not wrinkling on the audio. But it is really useful to kind of have Greninja on your bench, use that 1 water, get your 30 damage off something else, and then let your kind of active Pokemon clean up after it if it doesn't have enough strength. So let me rip this open. And then in here we have Delphox. This will be the next one up. I don't know if I've ever seen this Delphox before. Let me see. So I'm trying to read it, but my lighting is literally coming from right behind. So if I look at the card, it's right in my eyeball. So, let's see. For an ability, it has Mystical Fire, which once during your turn, you may draw a card until you have 6 in your hand. So that's useful. Lets you draw. And then for an attack, it's 3 colorless for Blaze Ball. This attack does 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So that's not bad. So if you put 5 fire or 3 fire on there as opposed to the 3 colorless, it'll do an additional 60 on top of the base 50. So it's not bad. It's a 110 attack. And most decks are going to use that. Like with fire energy, maybe you do a double colorless and 1 fire if you want to kind of speed it up, and then you're doing, what, 70 damage? And then we have Chestnut. I like this one. Not that I've seen it before, but I like the art on it. Maybe I can get it nice and close for you guys. It's hard. It's hard on the foil ones. But it's kind of like a weird cartoony look to it, whereas Greninja looks like, to me, Greninja looks like someone hand drew it. Delphox has this look like of something that came off a Pokemon Snap, like it's kind of in that like 64 bits, or Stadium rather, where it's not like polygony, but it's really smooth looking. This looks kind of like claymation. But this one is, if this is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, you can put 3 damage counters on it, on the attacking Pokemon. So that's cool. So that's its ability. And then its attack heals 20 damage and does 90 damage. So overall, not too bad. Obviously, they're not EXs, but I think they're usable. Like this Greninja, I would definitely use because I've used it online a lot and I enjoy it. Delphox, I feel like I might use Delphox as a draw effect. I wish it was a stage 1 as opposed to a stage 2, just because I don't, you don't have to sit there and put out Fennekin and then everything to kind of level it out. I wish it was, if they had that same effect, but let's say as Rapidash or something where it was just a stage 1, or a Magmar where it's just a basic, that would be really enjoyable. And then Chestnut's actually not too bad. It's got 160 HP. Which, for a non-EX, isn't too bad. So we can go from there. And then we have our coin. So it is Fennekin on the front. The back is just a Pokeball. That's kind of cool. So I like the Fennekin. I think, don't quote me on this, but I feel like it probably comes with all 3 coins. So you probably get one that has Fennekin, one that has Froakie, and one that has Chespin. Excuse me. And now we have our 2 packs. 10 minutes in, we have our 2 packs. So I was right. So there's Primal Clash and Furious Fists. And the only reason, I'll tell you this, the only reason I knew Primal Clash is because I have, for not this video, but next video, I have a Primal Clash like booster sitting right here. So I could kind of tell from the side. So I kind of cheated just a little bit. But let's open up Primal Clash. Okay, so we have our handy dandy code card. Then we have 1, 2, 3. Drop in front. 1, 2, 3. Drop in front. Sorry, you know it's been bad when it's been so long that I can't remember the pack trick. So I did 3 from the back and put them in front. I believe that was the correct way. But let's see what we got. Maybe. Okay. So first off, we have Torchic. So one thing I do remember from Primal Clash is they have like their primal abilities. So these come with like Barrage and like a Delta and all that kind of stuff. So we have Torchic. I like this. It doesn't. I mean, it's obviously not a great card, but I like the artwork where he's kind of like running and shooting. We have Tentacool. Sorry, I'm checking to make sure I don't pull off any like rares. I'm getting a lot of commons. It looks like Bunnelby. This actually, I don't know if you guys know this is a Bunnelby where I don't know if they still do it, but a lot of people used to use this like competitively because it's kind of cheap. Where for one colorless right here, you use Burrow and it discards off the top of your opponent's deck. It discards like 1 card off the top of your opponent's deck, and then for Barrage, like it's a little thing appears Barrage, which lets it do its attack twice. So each turn you can actually discard 2 cards off the top of their deck, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up if you think about it, because a 60 card deck, 6 cards are going into the prize slot, so that's already 10% off. And then, what do you start with, 7 cards? So you're starting with 47 cards in your deck, roughly. So that each 2 cards you're taking off it actually adds up to quite a bit. Because you're talking like just under 5% of their deck getting discarded every turn. So that it's kind of a pain in the butt. So there's that. Next we have Lotad, Metatite, Beedoof, Horsey, Chinchou. Ooh, our reverse hollow superfoil Majigger is a Wish Cache. So I guess I did do it right, because this should be our rare, right? And the rare, just checking, yes, it is a rare, is Starmie. Starmie with Synchro Star. So Synchro Star is 1 colorless for 10 damage, and then if your Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same amount of energy to attach to them, this attack does 60 more damage. So if you have one energy and they have 1 energy, you can do 70 damage. Otherwise, you just do 10. No, that I don't care much for that. Only because what are the chances? Like, you would basically have to have it out like first turn that their card's coming out, and then just start wailing on it. And then I was right. So Furious Fist will be the next one. Another code card. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3 from the back. Put it up front. First off, we have Mountain Ring, which prevents all damage done to your benched Pokemon. Followed by a Selgor, an Amaura, Clefairy. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I do know why. I was gonna say I don't know why the Clefairies have like the cutest cards, but I do know why. Same as like Jigglypuff, they always want to give the fairy like cutesy Pokemon like the cute little drawings. We have a Magmar, a Pancham, a Golett, a Cubchoo, another Golett. Is this the same Golett? Yeah, same Golett. Just a foil Golett. So that's our foil. And then our rare is a Hawlucha. This Hawlucha has Shining Spirit, and damage from this Pokemon's attacks isn't affected by weakness or resistance. There's like a grammatical error there, because it says damage from this Pokemon's attacks isn't affected. I feel like it should say damage from this Pokemon's attacks aren't affected. But maybe I'm wrong. And then for an attack, it has Flying Press, which for one fighting does 60 damage. But if your Pokemon, or if your opponent's active Pokemon isn't a Pokemon EX, it does nothing. So basically, you can only take on an EX with this. Otherwise, it does nothing. So, with that being said, guys, overall not too bad. We didn't pull a card that I'm like super stoked about, other than the promo cards. So the promo cards I'm happy with. The other stuff out of the 2 packs, nothing that was like amazing. But overall, I mean, I'm happy with the collection. Not so much with what we got, but I'm happy with the collection and the fact that now I am recording something. So that's exciting for me. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video because we're already pressing on 16 minutes, which for a pack opening is quite a bit. But thanks for sticking around. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm kind of basking in the moment. But anyways, if you like what you saw today, if you're happy with our pack draw, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and a like down below. If you want to take our relationship to the next level, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. With that being said, guys, this is Sleevecard. I'm signing out. Have yourselves a beautiful day, and I will see you later.